Hi, I'm Beverly Radley of Breakthrough from Within.
And I'm Suzanne Smith of Reconnecting You.
Have you ever?
Oh, definitely.
Have you ever said yes and meant no?
Oh, absolutely. And bitterly regretted it.
Why did you say yes in the first place?
Bit of a mixture of things, actually. Not wanting to disappoint people.
Okay.
Feeling like it would make me a bad person if I said no.
Okay. And how did that work out?
Well, you end up twisting yourself out of shape, don't you, to accommodate everybody else's
Everyone else feels
requirements
great,
and
don't
needs.
they? And
Yeah.
you feel like...
Why did I do that?
And then you have the if only I had, or why didn't I, or need the pink monkey.
Absolutely. Deal with those monkey minds.
It comes back, doesn't it, in the... So how can you learn to say no instead of yes?
Oh, one of the best bits of advice that I heard was to do it in 3 stages, really. To let somebody know that you've heard what they've wanted.
Okay.
So thank you very much for asking me, Beverly, to that social thing that I don't really want to go to. Maybe not quite like that. Thanks so much for the invitation, Beverly. I just need to go away and check my diary and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
When do you need to know by?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah, because then the onus is back on them, isn't it, rather than on you.
But also, you're probably sat there now thinking, oh, there's a possibility that that person might not come. That I might not come to your social networking thing. Because I haven't said yes straight away. I've said I'm going to go away and check my diary.
What happens if you've got your diary with you?
I would... Oh, that's a very good one. Oh, there's a thought. I would open my diary and say, I haven't got anything in, but I've got a niggle that Dale might be needing me for something.
So you would lie?
Possibly.
Okay. Why can't you just say no, thank you?
Because that feels too harsh.
Is the truth.
Yeah.
But if you're leading them down a path of maybe, perhaps, blah, blah, blah.
But it's a halfway house, isn't it? Maybe I need to practice saying no more to get more comfortable with it. But until I'm comfortable with it, here's a way of saying, actually, I'll go back to you.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. But just by sort of saying, or rather just by not saying yes straight away,
Yes.
it then makes it easier for me to contact you and say, actually, no, I can't do it.
Okay.
Because I've already primed you. I've allowed myself some time to go away and have a little bit of a think about it. Whether or not I do actually want to go to that event.
Yeah,
You will know I'm a very conflicted person about these things. I'm very often in 2 minds.
I think also it's about allowing yourself space, isn't it? And time to think about it. Where we eagerly say yes to everything and then usually physically
I don't know why you're looking at me. I've
Trans-dimensional
got a time
engineering.
turner. I'll be fine.
You can make it from Sheffield to Nottingham. In how many minutes was it?
Oh, yeah.
About
15 or so,
15.
yeah.
So it's not happening.
No.
But the interesting thing with that is it then falls back on you, doesn't it? Because you've agreed to something that's physically not possible, and then you feel guilty for being late or remorseful, or so in agreeing, instead of saying I'm not sure, you have a whole host of emotions that you then have to do something with. So yes, it's harsh to say no, but how much of that is then diverted and then becomes a bigger problem later?
Yeah, I see that definitely within myself, and I know it's something that other people deal with as well. This whole, when you're in 2 minds about something, you want to do it but it's not practical, or you don't want to do it but feel it's not practical to say no. You do end up tying yourself up in this whole bunch of knots.
Okay.
And actually taking some time to sit back and work out what is the best thing for you
Yeah, it's your gut feeling, isn't it?
Oh, gosh,
Your gut
absolutely.
feeling, how, and that usually kicks in first, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then our mind kind of goes, oh, you can't say that. Oh, we must do this. Oh, we've always said we're going.
And how difficult is that in social setups, you know, or within family setups, with your friends? It's incredibly harsh sometimes to be faced with this feeling of, the gut feeling of, oh, that's just the last thing I want to do, versus, oh, go on, it'll be fun, you'll have a lovely time.
But that's about whose version of fun, isn't it? And about you tuning into, what actually do I need? What is the right thing for me? Scleranthus is a great essence for making decisions, which sometimes can be tricky. Kinesiology?
Kinesiology can be very useful for providing you with a tool for tapping into what your gut feeling is, and you can ask quite specific questions like, what is the most beneficial and appropriate thing for me to do about X or about Y?
I think what I love about that is from the course we won before was one of the people said about you saying, think about what you're asking and what you're intending. And if you've already intended to try to get the right answer, don't bother.
Don't bother. So it's all about how you tee it up.
It is, isn't it? And about what you're trying to do is get the answer you want to hear. That's not about your intuition, is it?
No, and I mean, energetically, you know, you've described how it's causes all sorts of problems when you try and be polite and try and work around other people, but energetically it sets up a whole load of conflict as well, and your mind takes up energy trying to work out or worrying about or fathoming out how to make all the pieces of the jigsaw fit together.
Some of that is about boundaries, isn't it? You know, about setting your own boundaries for your energy and for what's physically possible for you to have that balance of doing lots of things and having time where you don't, just being seems to be quite tricky.
Challenging. And we're all learning, we're all trying to work it out, aren't we?
That's the thing, isn't it? And saying no is not about being unkind, isn't it? Because when you say no to someone else, you're saying yes to yourself. But it is, like you say, it's a work in progress. It's about strategies and techniques. It's about how can you help yourself be the best version of you without tying yourself up in knots.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear what your strategies, techniques. Before volunteering, I would consider all options, is what my friend told me. How do you help learn to connect in with what do you really want, rather than just agreeing to everything and regretting it later? Let us know below.